Hey guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. I know it's been a while, and so I just wanted to say that yes, I have been temporarily laid off as part of the US's coronavirus response. So that'll give me lots of extra time to create new content. Of course, that means I won't have any outside income coming in. So if you guys would like to support me, then please get some merch like this super cute long sleeve shirt featuring the Deglutenizer's House of Gluten-free Chicken and Waffles. Super cute. Also, proceeds do actually go to help me directly. The other thing you can do is become a patron on Patreon for just $2 a month. So, if you are able to help out and if you enjoy the content that I produce, then please help me continue to produce more content. Anyway, with that shameless plug out of the way, then today I'm going to be making a gluten-free cheesecake with a ginger snap crust and a traditional cream cheese filling. So let's get started on making the crust. So we're going to start off with about 20 of my ginger snaps. You can find the recipe for that on my blog at Deglutenizer.com, or you can find the video for it right here on my YouTube channel. And I just want to grind up my cookies real quick with a few pulses. Also for my crust, I'm going to need 1 stick of butter, melted. So I just throw it into a big mug and pop it in the microwave. 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. And to contrast the sweetness and tanginess of my cheesecake, I need to add 1/4 teaspoon of non-iodized table salt. So nothing fancy like sea salt or kosher, just plain old salt. And I'm going to add my melted stick of butter. Replace my lid and blend again until uniform. I need to prepare my Springform pan to bake my cheesecake in a water bath. Remove the disc. Now, you might have noticed this is a longer roll of foil. Because this will be baked in a water bath, I want to ensure that I get as much coverage as possible. So, I'm just going to wrap up my disc. Lock my pan. And expand the foil. Alright, so my pan is lined. Now I'm going to take my crust, and then I'm going to use the bottom of this glass to smush my crust down into the bottom of my pan. There we go, a lovely ginger snap pie crust, and this is going to par bake in the oven to set up firm while I mix up the filling. So I have here 3 blocks of cream cheese that have already been sitting out at room temperature. I like to unwrap them while they're still cold so that way they don't stick to the foil wrapper quite as badly. So I'm going to beat these up until they are smooth. To my 3 blocks of cream cheese, I want to add 1 cup of sour cream. So I'm just going to spoon this into a dry measure. Level the top. And that's close enough. 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. 3/4 of a cup of regular sugar. So 1/2 plus 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of vanilla sugar. You don't have to use vanilla sugar. I use vanilla sugar just to flex. Then you can use just straight 1 cup of sugar and up to a tablespoon of vanilla extract, depending on how much vanilla flavor you want in your cheesecake. But I'm going to use my homemade vanilla sugar, which I use just to show off that, oh hey, this is homemade. So the zest of 1/2 of a lemon, and then I'm going to cut this bad boy in half and add the juice through a strainer. Finally, to my filling, I want to add 3 egg yolks. So I'm going to separate some eggs. And just in case one of my yolks breaks, I am going to go ahead and separate my eggs into a bowl, each on their own. So that way I can make scrambled eggs with any eggs that end up like that. There's egg number 2 and yolk number 3. Okay, so I put my whites away in the fridge to stay cold because they will be easier to whip when they are cold. And I'm going to go ahead and take my mixer to the rest of my filling. And occasionally I'm going to have to just make sure to scrape down the sides of my bowl and ensure that my entire filling is getting mixed together. Alright, I have pulled my ginger snap crust out of the oven. I have beaten up the non-egg white filling, and I have my egg whites here along with my thoroughly washed beaters, and I'm going to whip my egg whites. And just wanted to remind you though that if you're using the same beaters, you do have to wash them thoroughly. Any amount of fat will prevent your whites from whipping. There we go. Thoroughly whipped egg whites. And yeah, they are perfect. So what I'm going to do is scoop out about half and go ahead and work on getting these mixed into my filling. And by whipping my whites, I'm going to be able to add enough air to actually give my cheesecake almost like a crumb type texture, like with a regular cake. However, it will not add so much air that I could potentially form cracks in the top. Now I'm going to add about half of my remaining whites. And I'm not going to worry too much about actually folding. Mainly I just want to kind of aerate my filling and give it a little bit fluffier texture. And the rest of my whites. Make sure that I'm not leaving anything behind in the bowl. And make sure you get every little last bit out of there. Alright, smooth the top. And there we go. Beautiful, lovely cheesecake. Once I've placed my cheesecake into a pan wide enough to accommodate, then I'm going to start filling up the outside pan with the water bath. And once the water reaches about halfway up the side of the pan, I'm going to close this and let it bake for about 50 minutes to an hour. So, here is my finished cheesecake. It is going to finish setting up and start cooling in the warm oven for about an hour. Once that is complete, I'm going to pull it out and let it finish cooling on the countertop for about an hour after that. And then it'll have to chill in the fridge for at least 4 hours, but preferably overnight. So now I just need to give this baby time. Alright, so my cheesecake has cooled thoroughly and chilled in the fridge for about 4 hours. And so now comes the moment of truth, depanning. So I want to pop my pan. Work the foil out and lift my cheesecake out through the ring. Once my ring is removed, I can gently pull the foil down away from the edges of the cheesecake. So now with my cheesecake extracted, I can cut my first slice. So I want to put the tip of the knife right at about center. And there we go. Fluffy on the inside, creamy, perfect. All that's left now is to take my first bite. This cheesecake's so perfect. The inside is light. It's almost airy rather than being that super dense cheesecake texture. And then, unlike with a traditional graham cracker crust, the ginger snaps had enough body to still be crunchy. Oh my gosh, it's good. So if you are looking for the perfect gluten-free cheesecake recipe, I definitely recommend that you try this one out. It's fantastic, amazing, delicious. I recommend you enjoy it with a cup of coffee, which I'm also going to fix. And, oh yeah, besides shirts, I also have mugs. So, definitely give this recipe a try, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Definitely one of my favorites to make for friends' birthdays or my birthday coming up March 31st. I turned 31 this year, and I will be live streaming on Twitch. Probably making my own cake, considering, you know, social distancing. I do have opportunities for you to support future content. I've got merch, I've got a Patreon, so if you like what you saw today, then make sure to check some of those out and throw a few bucks my way. So, I will see you guys next time on the Deglutenizer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, I hope you'll consider supporting me on Patreon for just $2 a month. Patrons receive early access to content, early announcements for upcoming projects, and much more. Help me grow by becoming a patron today.